Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day and joining me. Today, I get to talk to you about the automation, and I'm very excited. As you can tell, I have two different machines. With the 19, I'm going to show you how to set up your design using the automation, and then with this Juki 2010, I'm going to show you how to sew, how it quilts. So just want to jump in and talk to you about, we have two versions of the automation. We have the beginnings and the pro. And a lot of you will say, well, why do you have two versions? Well, one is a lower price point and you don't get all the bells and whistles that you do with the pro. And then we have even another feature that is the gold card access. And it just opens up extra features. So with the beginnings, you can import patterns that you purchase. You can quilt 2 rows at a time with a Panagraph from an edge-to-edge design, and you can place your block designs. And so you can really do a lot with the beginnings version. So if that's a price point that you want to start with, just know that after you've gotten familiar with the beginnings, you can upgrade to the pro when you're ready. So it's a good place to start out and get to know your machine and the automation, and then move up to the next level and then the next level. And so that's what we're here all about, is allowing you to quilt how you want to quilt within your budget and your means. So I'm going to jump in, and then what I'm showing you today is the pro version, okay? And how you set up a pantograph. It's a little different than if you're following along with the laser. I wanted to talk to you about designs and when you purchase them and when you import a design. A design has a start point and an end point. And with the pantograph, you're taking a single design and you're adding designs to it, or patterns to it, to make a long pantograph. So I'm going to kind of show you what that looks like in the automation in Panagraph. So let me go back to my home screen. Okay, this is my home screen. And you can see that I have select and sew. So that's where I would quilt a block at a time. And place my block and quilt my block design on it using select and sew. We're going to go into Panagraph. Okay, there we are. Okay, here's my Panagraph screen. And actually, it should have asked me to set my safe area. So we'll just show you how to set it up, okay? And then I'll probably have to go out and set my safe area up. But anyway, this is your Panagraph screen, and I'm using what we call, if you look right down here, we have different modes. We have a power Panto mode, an easy mode, and a basic mode. And then you have an advanced, because that's one of the gold features. And I have that loaded on. So with the power Panto mode, this is what I want to talk about. It is a really quick way to quilt an edge-to-edge design, because it will all you have to do is put in the size of your quilt, and it automatically will fill in the designs for you. So let me just show you how that works, okay? So I'm going to click on Power Panto, and I'm in Power Panto mode right now, and I'm going to put in my quilt width and my total width. And if I tap on total width right here, down below pattern height, a little calculator screen is going to pop up, and I'm just going to put my 38 inches. Okay. So it wants me to take that out. Oh, okay. Because I didn't set my safe area, it's not allowing me to put the 38 inches in. So let me set my safe area so that I can put in my 38 inches. So let me get out of here. I just really want to show you how it works. So I'm going to come in. All right, now it's loading up, and it's asking if my sewing machine needle is up. So I'm moving my machine to the middle of my frame because I don't want it to hit the sides as it engages. And I'm going to say, okay, yes, my needle is up. And I'm going to kind of fudge this a little bit, okay? All right, so now I can go into my pantograph, and now it's asking me for what we call our safe area or our quilting area. So you're going to move to the top right, and I've already started, so I'm not going to move all the way with my 2010. So I'm just going to move right here and tap on top left, and I'm going to go all the way over to here and then down and tap on bottom right. Okay, so now you can see I have 40 inches to play with. So when I put in, right here it says my total width, that's my safe area. You know, come in here and not get my head in the way. Right here, it says total width. So now it'll allow me to put in my 38 inches, which I wanted to do. So 38. All right, okay. All right, I don't want 40, I just want 38, okay. Okay, now you can see that my screen expanded out or changed to accommodate that 38 inches. And now I'm going to put my total heights, and that's the kind of the length of your quilt that you're putting in for your total height. And they call that the total height. And I'm going to say it is 55, okay? So it's 38 by 55 inches long. And with Power Panto, I'm going to go and select my design. And you can see that you have different folders that hold different design types. We have block designs, we have continuous line designs, we have triangle, and then border sets. Okay, I'm going to go to my continuous line designs and tap on that. And now I'm in the continuous line screen. And I'm going to pick Curly Q. This is the one I'm using. So I'm going to tap on it, and you can see my blue box has surrounded it. That means it's been selected. Now I'm just going to choose it. And now, see, with Power Panto, you don't have to do any of the guesswork. It's going to do all the calculations for you. And you can adjust this design to be as large as you want it or as small as you want it. So if I were using a very small domestic machine like a Juki 2010 with a smaller throat, what I would do is decrease the size of my design so it will sew within that area. And I like it so it's a little more even. So, you know, just play around with it. You can add and make them large, or you can make them smaller by decreasing, and then this is going to be sew out more densely than if you made it larger. So that's just a little bit about Power Panto. It is quick and easy. Okay, so let's change modes here, and let's go into easy mode. Say you have a size of the design that you want to sew from top to bottom, and you want it maybe 4 inches. So what I'm going to go do is select my pattern, because I already have my quilt size in there. I'm going to select my Curly Q again, and I'm going to tap on open, and see it has one design. But I want this design to sew out, say, 4 inches, okay? Say, okay. So now it is deciding how many rows down and how many designs across to keep that design 4 inches. And that's the easy mode. Okay, we have one more just to quickly talk about. And right here, it's my basic mode. Basic really allows you to customize and design your pantographs the way you want them. And there are some other features in here that I don't have a lot of time to go into, but it's so fun to play with the different designs and see what they look like. So notice that I have stagger, and I can size it, I can move it, and I can shift it. You can flip it. You can rotate, and I'm going to talk about rotate here. Okay, so with this, I have my pattern size. So let me go select my Curly Q again and tap on open. Okay, so I have one Curly Q, but I can add patterns and add rows. If you see right here, you can add patterns and rows. Patterns, what it means, it's not a pattern, it's really a design. This is an older program, and they just named it patterns way back when. And so it just kind of stuck. So I want, say, 8 across, and if I add rows, see how it becomes more rounded and a little bit more dense. So 8x8 looks good to me, and it's about, look, notice that the design width is 4 and almost 3/4, almost 5 inches, and the pattern height is like 6. So it's a little taller than it is wide. So maybe I just want to add a couple more to it to make it, and then just keep adding. And you can notice that the width and the height, they're pretty close to the same, but just play with it to get the desired look that you want. Okay, so now I have my design and it's laid out. Let's see what it looks like, or what happens when I alternate. So I'm going to tap on alternate, and it's going to highlight in every other row, and I am going to flip. So you can just flip it and see, you get a different look. So you can play with all these fun little features and, get a different look every quilt. So you could use the same design on every quilt and have a different look. And nobody's ever going to know that you used that same old pesky curly Q that you're sick of. So yeah, so there's a lot of ways to play with the designs, flip them. Now, if you rotate and you decide to rotate, what you're going to do is break the design start and stop point. So when it rotates, you're going to flip the start point to the stop point. So it's going to cause the pattern to be have a lot of breaks in it when you go to quilt it. But there, with the automation, it allows you to fix those breaks, and it's called optimization. And I'm not going to jump into every little detail on it, but just know that it has all these marvelous features that you can really customize and use to make that quilt be that one-of-a-kind special quilt. And it also makes quick work of sewing your panagraphs. Now, if you are a little wobbly, yeah, just a minute. If you're a little wobbly with sewing the panagraphs using the laser, this is going to give you that more professional look that you will want. So kudos to the automation, and check out the pricing this month. It's fabulous. We're running a special with the 19 and the automation, but the automation is on sale, and so call, check it out, find out with your dealer. There are financing options with some dealers, so if it's something that you've wanted, now's the time to jump in and just ask a lot of questions and ask them if it works with your machine. So let me jump into a couple of questions really quick. Okay, Barbara. Barbara is thinking ahead. I was using a double leaf pattern last week, and I wanted to rotate it. However, when I did, I couldn't figure out how to keep the pattern continuous. And that's what you'll work on, is the optimization. In my help files, I show you how the optimization works. And so up above, when you're in what we call our quilting interface screen, there's a little button at the top that says optimize. And that's what you'll go into, and you just kind of have to work with it to figure out so that the connections will sew correctly. So it'll be a fun little challenge for you, and I'll give you that challenge to work through it. But if you need a little help, give us a call, and let's see if we can't work it through for you, okay? If you'll send me an email with what you did and exactly how you rotated in the rows, we'll work through it, okay? So another question? Okay. Can you add, okay, Deborah is asking, can this be added to an older Bernina grace frame? Absolutely, it can. You may need, you probably won't need anything. I don't know if you're using a Bernina or a QCT machine, but yes, it works. We made that automation for Bernina for a while, so lucky you, it works really well. So yeah, and then Deb is asking, how do I know if I have the Pro version? Okay, I'll show you. So I'm gonna get out of this screen right now, okay? And what I'm gonna do is just tap on my little X. And no, I don't want to save my design. If you look at your home screen, all right, it should say Quilters Creative Touch Pro or the beginnings will say beginnings, okay? With the Pro, you're going to have your select and sew, your Panagraph, your pattern CAD, quilt CAD, and your record. So if you have that on the screen, you have the Pro version. I just happen to have some of the gold features, and so that's why I have this gold. So the gold features, we have advanced Panto, we have borders and corners, we have font stitcher, multi-placement, fabric comp, pattern eclipse, and virtual long arms. So there are a lot of extra features, not necessarily what you need to quilt, but they're features that help make it a little easier and a little quicker as you're quilting. So some awesome features. So now let's jump in and let's show you how to quilt. And all right, I'm just going to move this guy off to the side. But just know that the 19 works really well too. So now I have my little Juki 2010 and I've sewed my first row, okay? And this little machine is a fast little machine. So I sewed my first zone or section of my quilt, and now I have to get ready to roll it so that I can continue to quilt. So what I want to do right now is I want to tap on Finish Zone, and there's going to be a screen that pops up, and it says, have you completed sewing this zone? This includes pulling the bobbin thread and making any needed repairs. This will also, pattern eclipse. If so, touch yes to advance to the next zone. And I have cut my threads. I'm just going to reach around here, make sure it's cut. Okay. And I'm going to say yes. All right. Now, to ensure that the sewing machine needle is up, we have to make sure that it's up and the machine is about to move. And I'm going to say, okay, because it's up. When I cut my thread, it came up. So now what it's doing is it's moving to where I'm going to take my little sticker here and mark where I'm going to start my next zone. So where I'm going to place it. Okay. So I'm going to just lift my foot up here just a little bit because this is really tight to make it underneath, and I don't want it to come up. So now what I'm going to do, you see the screen has changed and it says mark the next zone. So what I'm going to do is in my little sticker that I placed underneath here, underneath my foot, I am going to tap on single stitch and just give it a minute. And the needle's going to go down. And see how it stayed down? I don't want it to move with the needle down. So I'm just going to push right here for the needle to come up. Okay. And now I am ready to move the machine away and tap on continue. And it says, are you sure all of my zone markers are marked? And I'm going to say, yes, they're all marked because I only had one. And now my machine's going to move. Okay, I don't want that to move. To where I'm going to roll my sticker underneath the foot. Okay, and I'm going to lift that foot up. So just remind me that I lifted it up. So it'll go underneath the sticker and I won't lose it. Now I'm just ready to roll. It's easy because it does all the work for you and it shows you what to do. So you have this beautiful, perfect quilt. It's just so nice. And I'm just going to roll it really quick. Now. All right. I don't want it to come up, but I want it to be close. There we go. And now it says for me to roll it, and I don't have to be exactly perfect. So I'm just going to roll it a little past because I'm going to tighten it back up with this, okay? And now I'm just going to smooth it out and put my clamps back down, but I'm going to put it so Grace Company's not upside down. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I've put my needle, and I'm not exactly on the mark that I need to be, but I'm going to say, okay, I've rolled. Okay, and yes, okay. So now it's going to take me to my placement screen. This is my pattern placement screen. Can you see it? All right. So now I'm going to make sure that my needle is right over that little hole I made with my single stitch. And I'm going to tap on this little section right here and see how my pattern shifted. So now it's aligned and I am ready to quilt my next row, okay? Okay, so what I want to do, I want to make sure that I put my foot down. Otherwise, you can have a little shag rug underneath. And if I just tap on sew, it will move over to my start point and start quilting. All right, where do you want me? Say, okay. I want to make sure my needle's up. So it's just a really good idea just to check. I mean, it's just a warning. Because with these little domestic machines, the needle could be in the down position. So you really want to make sure that it's up, okay? So see, it's moving over this area. I thought it was going to go over there because this little green mark is where it's going to start. Can you see that? All right. So now it's going to do its tie-offs. And it's going to be fast. There you go. We're sewing row zone 2. I just wanted to show how much fun it is. Even with your little mid-arm, if your machine is compatible, yeah, it's going to be fun. And you can see it came up just a little bit. That's probably because I don't have it on exactly straight. My bad. Because it's good. You need to get your quilt on as straight as possible. It's going to sew as well as you have it straight. So, and it would have helped if I would have done a little bit of spacing in between each of the patterns. That would have made it look a little better. And then I could have allowed for that unevenness of my quilt. But learn from my mistakes. Make sure you put that little bit of spacing in there. I know, this is the boring part. Now, if you were actually here, it would be the fun part because it's fascinating to watch the machine do its job. All right. Well, I'd rather you watch the machine as it's doing its thing than me anyway. Okay? It's much better. It's much more fun. Anyway. This is our last little spiral. And then what you'll do is the same thing. You'll mark for the next area and you'll roll it and you'll continue on all the way down your quilt. There we go. Now, one thing I wanted to remind you of, how important. Notice that my machine sewed off the edge of my quilt, okay? So I tacked down my sides. You need to tack, oh, sorry. I keep looking at the wrong camera. All right, so I tacked down my sides so that as it sews off, my foot's not gonna get caught underneath my fabric and tear and rip a hole. So make sure that as you're rolling your quilt, you're tacking down the sides and along the top and bottom. It's really important. Otherwise, you're going to have a little problem. It will not only throw your design off. Now, another thing I wanted to remind you of, when we're watching the automation, it's so tempting to lean up against the pole. But notice, as I lean up against the pole or push on it, how it pushes the design. And it will distort it and make it so unevenly. I know you want to lean on the poles, don't, okay? Just stand back and let it do its thing and enjoy watching what it's doing, okay? Do not lean on the poles. Do not ruin your designer pattern, okay? And also, really try to get your quilt on straight. That's another important thing. I just quickly hurried. I knew it was a little uneven, so it's not too bad. It's not something it's something I can live with. But anyway, also, I wanted to show you right here on the screen, which camera are we on? Okay, this one. Okay, so right here, notice that if you ran out of bobbin or if the thread broke, you have what we call repair pattern. Okay, repair pattern allows you to easily go in and repair your design and continue on. There's lots of different functions. Notice that we have a little toolbox here as well. And the toolbox, I'm going to open it up, has some extra little features. It has a single stitch. It allows you to release the carriage, and it has a little ruler, or you can move to start point, or if you have problems with your safe area, you get a little red screen. You can go in and reset your opening safe area. So lots of cool features for you to have. So I'm just going to cut my thread. Now I can tap on finish zone. And it's asking me again, and you do that same process over and over and over again until you're finished with your quilt. Really, you need to check it out. Check it out online. I know that there's a little demo, but it's so much fun. And it just adds another little level to your quilting. I love free motion, don't get me wrong, because it's fun to do. But the automation, some quilts just call for that precise look, and it just adds that extra element. So check it out online. Call your local dealer and see what kind of pricing they have to offer. Ask them if they offer financing as well. We love our dealers, so please contact your dealers. They're really important to us. Okay, couple more questions and then we'll end. Okay, camera 4. Okay, Deborah. When I put in my safe area outside the sides, I can't get the rows to stitch all the way to the end. It adds on a second zone with only a couple of the designs. What am I doing wrong? I'm not sure. But send me a picture, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. So take a screenshot or something of what you're talking about. That really helps me be able to recreate what you're doing. So send me a picture of your design, and it's Karla with the K at graceframe.com. I love to hear from you. Let's work through each of the little problems or hiccups that you're having, and it helps me become a better teacher, and it'll also help you. So you'll have a better understanding. So send me some of those screenshots, and I'm more than happy to help figure it out. So another question? Okay. I have a Juki, Mary, okay? Mary, thank you for watching. I have a Juki 2200 and have Pro. Why do I not have a base stitch in the program for base stitch? I'm not sure. I think there is one, but let me see. Maybe we just need to do an update, okay? So email me. No, that's okay. It's okay. We can move to the next one. Email me with your concern, and we will figure it out, okay? And Janice, does the program warn you when? No, it does not, because you're working with different machines. So it's universal. So if you're concerned about your bobbin thread, just check it, okay? But you know what? It's so easy to repair the pattern that it's not a problem. So email me with your questions. I'll be more than happy to look into them. And I have a great resource and a good buddy here, Marie. Some of you probably talked to her. She and I love working through these and getting you help that you need. So I just want to thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Next week, we are going to talk about the select and sew, the placing of the blocks, and a little bit about pattern count. So I'm very excited to show you that. Then the week after that, I have a new quilt that I'm going to show you, and we're going to show you how to quilt it using the automation. So join me and keep watching and keep giving me ideas. I really appreciate it. So have a good week and stay safe, please. Bye.